Let's look at some of the best weapons in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, including the amazing Gungnir, an Isu spear that is actually longer than others, and it looks amazing. I will tell you how to get it, and also look at some other items that you can already get earlier, and way more. I already made a video about the Excalibur, so it will not be included here, although it would totally make sense, of course. So totally check that video out if you haven't already after this one. For now though, a like on this video would really help the channel out. And let's go. Of course, a quick reminder of the weekly Helix credit pack giveaway. Just click the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win 2,300 Helix credits. You have to be a subscriber of the channel before you enter, and I'll reach out to the winner via the email so then you can get something from the item store without paying money yourself. I will announce the winner in a future video. Okay, let's immediately start with the Gungnir spear. That just looks insane. It's always glowing and has this constant moving force field around it. Like, this might be the best looking weapon I've seen so far in the game. And the best part is that it's not only a visual effect. No, it looks longer than a regular spear, but actually has a longer range as well. And that's because of the special perk of this weapon. The spear's reach is extended by a force field. And the spear's range, like in general, is already the best compared to other weapon types. And now it can go even further. So you can reach enemies that then cannot hit you back. You need to get used to this at first, but at some point you will understand the range and can make way better use of it. And also nice that you can swing the weapon around with the light combo finisher, and then you will hit even more surrounding enemies. Another perk of having a longer range, of course. But it's also really powerful in combination with the left hand attack. This namely grabs the enemies and pulls them towards you and then pushes them away. So on the ground or against a wall, or you can also like push an enemy against another enemy to deal damage to both. It's like an alternative harpoon for stamina. It's a really powerful way to use the spear. And the heavy dual wielding skill that you of course find in the bear skill line adds also way more options. A more defensive option if you use a shield then as well in the left hand to be more protective. Nice against the zealots, for example, or other tougher encounters. But yeah, then you do not have that left hand grab. Well, turns out that with two spears you can do an even crazier combo. Namely, stab enemies repeatedly, so you deal double the amount of damage, and enemies will be interrupted as well. So they're really unable to do anything back, while you just stab them with a lot of damage. But the downside of having another spear with the Gungnir is of course that the other spear does not have the increased range. So that will make some duo combos more difficult, although I'm sure I will get used to it over time. And then I forgot to mention that just like the Excalibur, this one has a special sound effect as well, when you grab the weapon and put it away. So yes, as you guessed, this is totally an endgame weapon to chase. Like, when I say endgame, I really mean it, because it's a weapon that you get after completing the JorRaptor story arc. And I hope I pronounced it right. I'll of course not share any story spoilers on this channel, but you basically have to complete a ton of main story arcs to get to this point. After the one in Winchester, this one in Norway in JorRaptor opened up for us. It's a power level 280 region, but you should manage when you are lower too, and actually only need to get to this cave that you find over here on the map. As always, I don't want to spoil the cool cutscene that plays. It's just very obvious. Go here and there you get the weapon. You can already go here earlier though, like before finishing the story arcs. Trust me, I did it, but then there's nothing here. So you really have to complete the story arcs to get the weapon. But there are also amazing weapons that you can already get way before this point. An early one that is pretty nice is the double-hander sword. That should be in a shop in England. So you can of course build your own in your settlement, and then you will likely find the weapon here. Or you can also find vendors in the world. And these vendors will sell more items over time. Maybe it has to do with exploring the world. So totally when in different and new regions, check on the vendor there. And then you might see a bigger inventory that then also appears in older shops. But if you got another theory on this, let me know in the comments down below. What is nice about the double-hander is that you can easily trigger a poison effect when doing heavy attacks on enemies who are on the ground. So it will change your playstyle up a bit, because with the left-hand charge of the two-handed sword, you can easily push enemies on the ground, after which you can apply the poison effect. Sure, later on there might be better alternatives for the two-handed sword, but I think early on this one is quite nice. Another weapon that I think is worth getting from the shop is the Viper bow that increases critical chance after each hit up to 10 times. And if you inspect the weapon with the left trigger, you see that it can go up to 30%. So then the chance to have this yellow damage number appear increases by a lot. The buff is only for 2 seconds though, so pretty short, meaning that it only really applies for when you just keep shooting your light bow, but so far the best light bow that I found. Although as I said before, hunter bows are still my favorites, and you can buy an amazing one in a vendor as well called the Death Speaker. You will not know the perks until you buy the weapon, so that's why I'm telling you here. This weapon namely restores some health on hitting a weak spot of the enemy, something you want to focus on anyways. And I'm actually surprised by how much health you get back. Like, you see my health bar fill a lot after I hit a weak spot. And if you inspect the weapon, you actually see that it's 25%. So if you get like more health, you will still get the same amount, or actually on paper, more health back. Should be a great end game hunter's bow as well. We'll totally be upgrading it. And I'm actually also using 2 axes in this camp that really work well together. So one is called House Carl's Axe, which increases the attack after each hit up to 10 times. And the other one is Farron's Axe, that increases the speed after each hit, also up to 10 times. And as you might know, you have this crazy left-hand attack when you have both axes equipped, where you will be using both very rapidly after each other, so you will stack up the speed and the damage very fast. So then this attack that is already super powerful, stunning the enemy in place, will now only get better over time as you build up these buffs. Like, it's a super powerful combo also against salad enemies. You can totally use this as an alternative of the left-hand dagger tactic I showed you in a previous video. I'll, by the way, link to that at the end of this one. No, but these 2 one-handed axes are really the best I found so far, and you can really find them early on already. The House Carl's axe is in Grantebridge Shire, over here on the map, so in a chest. And you likely already got Farron's axe, because you get that from a very early main quest. So yeah, combining the 2 is really amazing. Of course, let me know what weapons you are using and would recommend to others. I'm really curious. And if you got other input, you can also email me to the input@JorRaptor.com email address. Totally subscribe for way more Valhalla content if you haven't already. A like on the video would really help the channel out. You can find a link to my Discord in the pinned comment if you want to chat Valhalla with me and other people. Totally join there if you haven't already. And you can watch my previous video on the Excalibur by clicking on the screen. For now though, I will speak to you next time, and goodbye.